Well, they've certainly seen their share of damage from hurricanes in recent years, but over in Grand Bahama tonight, residents haven't seen the worst of the weather from Hurricane Sandy. With a report on conditions there, we're joined live by Ricardo Lightburn. Good evening, Ricardo.
And welcome to Grand Bahama, everybody. I'm Ricardo Lightburn. When the weather conditions are beginning to deteriorate here in the northern Bahamas, the people of Grand Bahama have faced great hardship with hurricanes in the past. As Joan Davis Rowe reports tonight, the Minister of Grand Bahama is leading the way in preparations.
So did concern among residents. The Minister for Grand Bahama, Dr. the Honorable Michael Davo, along with the local Deputy Director of Urban Renewal, Michelle Reckley, galvanizing the support of the entire Urban Renewal team Thursday morning.
Centers, you don't have to go specifically in your centers with your team.
It was a meeting of the minds on the 4th floor of the Harold de Gregory complex as Minister Davo went over the action plan.
The Urban Renewal Centers are up and running, and we're here to make our final assessment in Grand Bahama so that we can move forward with our plans to ensure that there would be no major difficulty during this particular storm, particularly with flooding. And of course, NEMA is in full swing, executing the emergency evacuation system that needs to be put in place, as well as all of the support teams on Grand Bahama, the Royal Bahamas Police Force, the Royal Defense Force, and all the various authorities, even at the Rand Memorial Hospital. Emergency plans are now in place to deal with the effects of the storm that is definitely going to come across a portion of the island of Grand Bahama.
We are going to be a part of all of the national centers, but we won't be posted in the centers. Like I said, we will be on the road, and you know, for urban, that is our thing. A hands-on approach to make sure we are there bringing comfort and relief to those who are most challenged and those who needs it more.
Senior Lieutenant Byrne Wright of the Royal Bahamas Defense Force, with 20 officers strong, joining forces during a time of storm.
Currently, we are assisting in the manning of the Emergency Operations Center with NEMA, and we're assisting with the shelters along with Urban Renewal.
But as officials worked on the inside, there was a lot of movement going on the outside. Residents rushed to complete hurricane preparations. Gas stations were crowded, and so were local food stores. There were no vessels on the high seas as the storm surge began to climb. The Grand Bahama Airport Strip was another area of interest for more reasons than one. As the airport prepared to close here on Grand Bahama, the final flights began arriving, and local pilots made their departure to higher ground. Captain Hansel Bullitt says their goal was safety as they worked against the clock to beat the arrival of the storm.
We're doing the last minute securing of the premises. We're just waiting for this plane to leave right now. It's going to, we sent it to open locker, and they go sit in open locker for the day and watch the weather and see what happens. Other than that, if the weather starts to hit South Florida badly, they'll probably move up north, someplace around Orlando, Tampa area until probably the weather passes.
Joan Davis Rowe, ZNS News Network.
And the Grand Bahama Power Company advising customers that the power company is in a state of readiness and will continue to monitor the storm as it approaches Grand Bahama. The Grand Bahama Power Company says that it will not be performing a planned shutdown, but will continue to provide power to customers as long as wind speeds and safe operations allow. If power is lost, officials say that they will not be able to respond to any outages until the storm has passed and it's safe to do so. The power company says that immediately after NEMA issues an all clear, work crews will begin assessment and also restoration efforts. Well, the residents of East Grand Bahama were up and about early this morning, making final preparations for the arrival of Hurricane Sandy. Megan Shepard traveled east today to assess the level of preparations in that area.
The East Grand Bahama district was rather quiet Thursday morning as residents braced themselves for Hurricane Sandy as she made her journey across the Bahamas. Some residents were busy doing their last-minute preparations, securing their homes and churches, but there were some who heeded warnings and were already boarded up. For those that chose not to remain in the low-lying Eastern District, Maurice Martin Primary School was the designated shelter. Assistant Administrator for East Grand Bahama, Sherrick Ellis.
We are preparing for all the citizens coming out the east end of Grand Bahama, knowing that it's a low-lying area and it's prone to flooding. So we are trying to get as many out of the east end. I don't know how many persons we are expecting, but we are prepared for at least up to 160 persons. We have about 16 classrooms that are available.
Despite warnings to evacuate, residents in the Eastern District were adamant about remaining home. They say they have endured many storms at home in the past and they are fully prepared to do it once again.
I was prepared before the weather come down, so all I knew that to do was really bottom of my house. My sister's house where I live at. I already did that. I did this morning, and fuck you say I'm back. I finished doing that, you know. So I prepared. We wish for the best. I hope the rest of the Bahamas be prepared.
I hope it'll be okay. I hope so. I never endured none up here, but I been through some down home and made it around. Never had no problem like that, serious problem damage.
A local pastor in McLeanstown was busy boarding up his church as well. He says he's checked on members of his congregation, packed his supplies, and will be heading to Freeport to ride out Hurricane Sandy.
No, I will not stay in McLeanstown because it is a low-lying area. And we was cautioned to leave a low-lying area in the event of tide surge. So I am planning on going into Freeport, but first of all, I would make sure that the church is well battened up and ready to ride the storm.
Whether these residents stay in East End or not, the general consensus is that they are prepared and they are hoping for the best.